Hey folks, this is Eric Passmore here from TOURNA-MIX, and today I'm taking a look at the Boz digital pan knob. I love this plugin. I feel like it doesn't get enough hype or credit, and I have a few theories as to why that might be, and I'll address those in a minute. But yeah, I wanted to share with you why I think this is an essential mixing tool and something that will help your mixes. But before I continue, it's important to note that this plugin will only help your sound on headphones, okay? It's not going to change anything on speakers. So if you're listening on anything other than headphones right now, this tutorial will not make sense. So switch over to headphones and let's take a look. Okay, so in case you've never heard of this plugin, real quick, it's just an alternative way of doing your panning in your DAW. So why would you want to do that? Well, it turns out that this offers a better sound on headphones, and I'm going to show that in a second with a few examples. But real quick, this is where the magic happens in this plugin, is with this crossover point. If I turn this off, you can see I have the pan knob set hard left here. As it stands right now, this is no different than what you would use in your DAW. It does the same thing. But the minute you engage this crossover point, everything changes and the sound changes. And again, I'll show you that in a sec. So basically here you can see it defaults to 150 Hertz. What does this mean? It means that everything below 150 Hertz stays in the center and everything above it gets panned. So that's the difference. There's this crossover point. All right, so I'm going to start by showing you why I think this plugin gets overlooked. And because there really, in my opinion at least, or in my experience, there's really only one scenario where this plugin really shines. And if you use it in any other scenario, you might sort of think, well, what's the big deal? I don't get it. This doesn't change anything. So let me show you what I mean. Here's some overheads that have regular panning. Okay, and here's with the Boz pan knob. So they sound very similar. Let me show you what I've got going on here. See, I've got the traditional panning, and then we've got the pan knob here. So I've got one for the left, one for the right, in reverse order. And yeah, so there we go. But there's no real audible difference in sound, at least not to my ears. Let's have another listen. First with the traditional and pan knob. All right, so if you were new to this plugin and you just tried that experiment on its own, you'd be like, what's the big deal? Let me show you another example. All right, so in example number one, we looked at overheads, and that is essentially one performance, right, mic'd in stereo. So we were doing our panning of a single performance. In my second example here with acoustic guitars, we have a single part that is double tracked. So we have two different performances. Let's toggle between regular panning and the Boz panning and see if we can hear a difference. Here's the regular panning. Switch. All right, now I don't know about you, but again, I can't hear a big difference between those two. Certainly not enough to warrant me buying a plugin. So where's this all going? All right, so here's the deal. In my experience, and maybe this is the intention of the plugin, I'm not sure. The only time that this plugin makes a difference, and it is a big difference, is when you have a mono track, okay? When you have only one track and it's either panned left or panned right. In that case, it makes a big difference using this plugin. Let me show you that. All right, now let's take a look at where pan knob really shines, and that is with mono tracks. So remember, when the crossover point is turned off, we have a traditional panning system here. This sounds identical to if you just used your DAW. So let's hear this mono acoustic guitar panned hard left in the traditional way. Right? Okay, you've heard that sound many times before. Now that may not sound bad to you, and to be honest, it doesn't sound bad to me right now, but wait, watch what happens when I put the pan knob in. Isn't that absolutely insane? So two things are happening. First of all, when I engage the crossover point, you'll notice that the image shifts a little closer to center. And that's simply because, you know, some of the signal, in this case, everything below 150 Hertz, is still kept center, right? So we are losing a little bit of width, and that may bug you. Maybe it doesn't. Depends on the song and what you're trying to do. But what I notice is that just the signal just sounds so much better, so much more natural. And it's to the point where the traditional panning is actually painful beautiful for my ear. And I didn't even notice that until we brought in the pan knob, and then I was offered this better alternative. But now that I have these two playing back and forth, I just way prefer it. Let's hear it again. This is on. All right, so there you have it. The Boz Digital Pan Knob is a really neat plugin, and while you don't need it in every panning scenario, you could pan your entire song using just this if you wanted to, but I have found that I reserve it for mono tracks, and anytime I have a track that is just playing a single part and I want to put it left or right, I always use this thing, and it's I feel it makes a big difference in my headphone mixes. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed. We'll see you soon.